Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. I am Dave Does here as one of your hosts, and today we are doing what makes this song so great, or not, as the case may be. And today we are looking at a band called Dead Sara and Hands Up. The reason we're doing Dead Sara is probably really obvious, that it's a band I'd never heard of, and I think many people hadn't heard of until, of course, Emily Armstrong became the main vocalist or co-vocalist of the wonderful Linkin Park. Now, for those that are not sure who Dead Sara are, or never even bothered to try to understand where Emily Armstrong came from, they're an American rock band, stroke punk band, a bit of rock, bit of punk, bit of grunge, been around since 2002. We're going to be looking at Hands Up today. Now that came off of their 2020 album, Ain't It Tragic? But the question is, was this song tragic? I don't know. Well, actually, I do know, because the way that we do this, or the way I'm going to do this, I've actually already watched the video, so it's not a reaction. Please don't say it's a reaction. But people do love to see me watch the videos. I don't know why. People like to see people watch videos. So I am going to watch it, but I'm going to watch it a minute at a time. So we're going to do the first minute, then the second minute, and then the final minute and a third, and we'll kind of talk about each section, what makes it great or what doesn't make it great. Because there are going to be songs, just because we'd like to have positive reviews, we're going to pick songs as well that maybe are not so good. We're going to talk about those as well. But let's check this one out. So this is Dead Sara and Hands Up. And this was actually my first time checking this band out, so I didn't really know what to go into. So without further ado, this is Dead Sara and Hands Up, first minute. Let's check it out.
When you piece it all together, they're just fragments of imagination. Leave mid-conversation, so frustrated with your hands up, woo! Hands up, hands up. Hands up, hands up. Pulling the tulips up out the roots, shaking off the dirt to get a look at you. Throwing the heartache onto the flame, letting just where my body lays. And I don't believe that look in your eyes. Give me a reason to even try.
Okay, had to pause it there. Okay, it was a minute and a bit, just over a minute, but I had to stop it there because obviously we're about to go in. You can see there's the obviously was going to be a chorus coming in there, but look, let's talk about this song so far. Obviously, I knew Emily Armstrong's vocals from her doing Linkin Park, but there was always a reference point. Apart from where we'd seen new songs like Two-Face, Heavy as the Crown, etc. So, and she did amazing delivery there. But again, straight off the back here, we've got a really strong vocal delivery from Emily on this point. And what I love is the vocals don't sound processed. And a lot of times you'll hear these strong vocals, but you'll hear overly processed vocals, too much compression. They sound raw, but they sound powerful. It's a great, simple strumming riff. And you can even see that from the main guitarist of the band. It's actually only got a couple of strings. The others are broken, and then she's still playing it. And you probably could do that because it's power chorded riffs. Big old strum along. Love the drum pattern. It's a good punk hard rock pattern. And that comes from the old rock and roll 50s and 60s beats as well. They had a lot of those in there as well. So really like that. The bass fuzz is phenomenal. I love that. It adds a huge amount of depth to it. It just kind of fills the whole sound out. And it's a basic riff, but it's instantly accessible, which I love. Love the video. It reminds me of earlier 2000s videos. Bit of like party all hanging out, and then you got a bit of a jam playing. It's a great video format to do, and it's really nicely stylized, and the filtering on the video is great. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying it up to this point. Great. I do like the fact that it's over the verse you've got this drums with nothing going on. The guitars are just punctuating in. Great dynamic way of delivering a song, because it's really simple. If you just kind of strum over the whole thing, you lose that. So it's a great way of adding dynamics to a track. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Let's check the next minute of the song out for you at home, and me, of course.
Yeah, so you can see
Okay, there we go. That was the second minute of the track. Now, at this point, we're getting more of a. It's that great sing along. Even though if you haven't got the lyrics down already, you're gonna have it with a yeah. You're gonna want to sing along with that, which I wanted to do already. It's a head bopper. It's you're moving. Love that bit. She's got a great scream in there, which again I've heard that scream on when she was doing Linkin Park. So she already had those tools in her bag, and I think when they wouldn't have brought her in if she couldn't do it. And I remember reviewing the first performance, and I was a little bit skeptical because I thought, but I did say to her at the time when I reviewed the first performance of hers with Linkin Park that there was a lot of nerves going in there, and she was finding her feet. And since then, she's absolutely smashed it. So she is a great singer. She also has an element of soul in the vocals, which I quite like. So she's got a little bit of swag, a bit of soul in there. I mean, it's not groundbreaking or original, this song, in any shape or form, but it's actually nice to have that. I think sometimes we'll do reviews and stuff on the channel, and we'll talk about bands like, I don't know, we'll get something from like Helmet or Tool or something, and it will be so far removed that you spend the entire video trying to understand what it means, where it goes, what's happening, and then you realise that basically you haven't really enjoyed it because you're too overanalyzing. This is really accessible, easy to get into. I mean, it's a great example of this genre of rock. And another band that I'm a huge fan of, and probably one of my favourite bands out there, is Hailstorm. And this really has a Hailstorm vibe to it, and Lizzie Hale vocals. And Lizzie Hale is my favourite vocalist. So, yeah, thoroughly enjoying this so far. Let's play it the last minute and a half for you and myself. Let's do it.
So you can see that you had enough when I've had enough. As you leave mid-conversation, so frustrated with your hands up, yeah. You're waiting for me to mess it up. And I feel frustration, but I couldn't talk out loud. Clear desperation, I'm black and loud. When you piece it all together, they're just fragments of imagination. Leave mid-conversation, so frustrated with your hands up. Yeah, you're waiting for me to mess it up. Yeah, so you can see that you had enough when I've had enough. As you leave mid-conversation, so frustrated with your hands up, yeah. You're waiting for me to mess it up.
Okay, there we go. Dead Sarah and Hands Up. Right, that last minute and a half. Obviously, we had that mid change, which is great. So it was a key change. So we've changed the vibe of the track, we've changed the drum pattern, and we've stepped it up a key. It's an incredibly predictable way to go, and then to have that drop out for the vocals to come back in with a little bit of a sample in the background. Very, very predictable. But again, very, very useful to do that sometimes, because having predictability as a listener or as a band for a listener means that bands, fans, or just general people watching by, so like first time listeners, can access that track really easily. Sometimes, I mean, we just reviewed a band, I won't say the band, but we did a review of a band on the channel, which hasn't actually come out yet, and there were so many changes. I mean, they were throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this song, and I was like, by the end of it, I felt exhausted. I didn't feel uplifted. I didn't feel passionate. I didn't feel like I'd had a fun 3.5 minutes. What I felt like was, God, that was a lot of work. And I don't want to do that with music. I want to enjoy my music, and I think you really generally can. I mean, it's a great track, really punchy finish. I could have actually had that ending, that little bit of a breakdown, go on for a bit longer, get a real big head mosh. They kind of kept that quite short, so that could have gone a bit longer. I was just thinking while I was listening, going, they're called an American hard rock band. So what's the difference between American hard rock and British hard rock? Just what country you're from? Because is there a tonal difference? Is it the influences that got you there? So if you were influenced by rock bands like Bon Jovi and now you're a rock band in the 2000s, you get classed as a hard rock. Whereas if you're influenced by bands like Thunder and Thunder here in the UK, for instance, and FM and stuff like that, are you a British hard rock band? I don't know if there's an actual difference. Does it matter? Is there actually a sound difference between American hard rock and British hard rock? I think it's just influences. I think just generally it's all just hard rock, isn't it? But yeah, great track there. Thoroughly enjoyable. So what makes it a great track? I think it's just the accessibility. Great production. Emily's vocals stand out for me over this one. But they did everything right to make this a great, easily accessible track for new listeners, and that's what makes it a great track. Now let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please do like, share and subscribe, and one of us will see you on the channel in the near future. Take care.